Welcome to Boldon's Breakdown. I'm Bob Boldon here with head women's soccer coach Aaron Rodgers, here to break down some soccer plays. All right, Aaron, it's our ball on the sideline. We have a throw in. What are we looking at? Walk us through what the person with the ball is thinking and reading right now.
So we want to be able to keep possession of the ball here, okay? So it's fundamental to us that we create good passing angles. We create a good structure on how we can break down the other team by keeping the ball, by possessing it. So we throw the ball in to one of our center backs here, our left-sided center back, and at this point, she has to make a decision, where to play it so we can keep it, and that's going to be predicated by the movement of the other players. So go ahead and play this and we'll see. So stop it there. So now she doesn't have a whole lot of options for a couple of reasons. Number one, our center back here doesn't drop out quick enough, because that will either draw that player, their defending player with her, which will open up space for our midfielder to check in here. If she drops off and she doesn't go with her, if the defender doesn't go with her, she'll be able to pass it to her. And now she has multiple options. She can play back to our goalkeeper, which in that moment, that would be great for us, because our wide player here, she could get it and smack a ball out there to her. And now we've broken their pressure with 2 or 3 passes. So once we play it, go ahead and play. We don't quite have those options, and we try to play that ball to that wide player, but because she was under pressure, it was too difficult of a pass to play. So if we keep the ball and we have a little bit better movement, I think we were able to get out of that press. And this is against Western Kentucky, and I give them credit; they pressed us pretty well that game.
Yeah, I mean, she makes a read. One of the interesting things about your game is you got to live with your kids making reads. You don't have a lot of stoppages of plays. You don't have nearly the amount of timeouts and stoppages that they do in a basketball or football game, American football game, might I say.
Football, yes.
But, makes a read. Kid from Western Kentucky makes a great play on the ball. But then you guys do such a good job of not panicking and immediately getting into a position to stop the goal from being scored. So,
yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things. And when we're preparing, we watch film obviously on the opponents, and we try to determine how are they going to press us. Are they going to press us high? Are they going to sit in a more of a medium to low block? And Western Kentucky pressed us high. So when we're preparing to play that, we have to play out those scenarios in training so that we are prepared for that, because I'm not able to dictate play in the flow. And so we have to try to prepare. This could be where their pressure will be coming from, but this will be where our extra player is. And so if you go back to the beginning of that clip and you play it, and then and this is what we ask our players to answer this question, and you stop it right there. You say, okay, who on our team, who's our extra player right now? Who's the one that's free that we could play to? Who would you think that would be? Kind of gave you the answer earlier, but.
Well, yeah, I mean, it looks like we're going to have some space in the middle to get it to our point guard.
Yeah.
Right? And then let her go play it.
Yeah.
And much like basketball, if you can throw that skip pass and you can get the ball to the other side of the court, if that pass goes through, you guys are in a great spot.
Yeah.
Right? You've got numbers going the other way. And there's a risk reward in every sport and everything you do.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think this is a great risk, because the reward for that getting through is a great shot on goal here in a few seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. So our extra player is here, but she's actually is an extra player now, but as she slides in there. So really, in a full press, our extra player is our goalkeeper. So how can we find her? And that's just going to be the movement. Now, if Nora steps in here and that player will go with her, inevitably, then she plays straight
frees up that
through.
passing lane a little bit, and then you can move the ball.
Absolutely.
Which makes all of us non-soccer people really nervous when you kick the ball towards your own goal.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you guys are experts at that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you can play it, and then again, reversing the ball or whatever it is, the terminology you use, to get the ball from one side, switching the field, right, and getting. You see all these white defenders on this side of the field, and one way or the other, you got to get the ball to that side of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's funny you mentioned about kicking it in front of the goal because I always, when you watch youth soccer and you hear parents go, "Don't kick it in front of the goal, don't kick it in." Well, you kind of have to.
Sometimes you have to,
And
yeah.
you talk about risk reward. We're willing to take a risk of playing in front of our own goal in our defensive half or defensive third because we know that it will open up space other places.
Yeah, it'll switch the field, as you say, and you're way more skilled than maybe we realize. That seems like a risky play to a common person. It's not nearly as risky of a play for players of the caliber that you have on your squad. So we have a throw in from the near side, right? And we just saw this where we kind of threw it backwards, because that was the extra player. It was an easy pass. This time, while she doesn't look particularly open, you guys made the decision to try to pass it upfield before reversing it. So let's take a look at this clip and see what we do with it. All right, let's pause it there. Tell me, I hear you say a lot about we have a shape. I don't understand what shape, what that means, but you're talking about your kids have a shape, and I assume that terminology helps them determine who's open and where to move the basketball.
Yeah.
We're not playing with a basketball.
Well, the soccer ball.
With a soccer ball.
Well,
I mean, talk a little bit about that, and then talk about her decision to not kick it across the field. What do you call that when you kick it all the way to the other side? Across the field, like we saw in the last clip. Yeah. But this time she decides to go through the goalie. So talk a little bit about that too.
Well, I think our shape and our build-up phase and our structure is we play with two wing backs. All right. So here's one of our wing backs, and here's our other wing back. So we want to create a great amount of width on the field. So if you create a lot of width, the team defending you has to make a decision. Do they stay narrow in their defending, or do they spread out? So if they spread out in defending, it should hopefully open up central passing lanes. And when you can play a central passing lane, when you play a pass by one defensive player, it typically takes one or two other players out. So you're breaking that line. So now you've advanced the ball past their first line of pressure. And so now you've gone in and you're going to be confronted by a second line. So that's what our shape looks like in build-up. So we'll play with three center backs, but a lot of times in our build-up, we'll take...
Where are our center backs?
These players back here.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll play with three center backs, three central midfielders, and two wing backs, and then two forwards. All right. So this is a wing back. This is a wing back. All right. These are our two forwards. All right. And then we'll have some center backs. Actually, we'll have another forward up there. We'll have three center midfielders, and one of our center backs will also be in the midfield. That's how we build up.
Okay. So she decides the extra players are the goalkeeper.
Yep.
Good decision, bad decision?
Brilliant decision. And this is something we've been talking a lot about in not forcing the ball when we're building up, and being patient and trying to move the defensive team to create the pockets that we want to play in.
Yeah. Jordan, go ahead and get it to the goalie and pause it when she gets it, and let's talk about what she's thinking about. First of all, she's not allowed to use her hands because it was kicked by you, right?
Correct. Right.
And very knowledgeable in the
rules
of soccer.
That is true. Back when I played in the 80s, you could pick it up as a goalkeeper, but they changed that rule.
So now she's got to play this with her feet, and she's looking where? Obviously, the person to me that I see, like this is where a untrained eye is like, oh no, the person closest to her is closely guarded, and we're doomed.
Yes.
You don't see.
No,
you don't see that we're doomed. You're very comfortable with how this looks right now.
Absolutely, because this center back is curling out, which is going to occupy that player right there, which, because we switched it quickly, Valpo didn't quite shift their shape fast enough, and we were able to keep the player in the midfield that we could play to, and that's what we want, because now we break the initial pressure. And so we'll break the pressure of two players with one pass, and now we're going on to be confronted by the second line.
Okay, so she's going to play it.
And now, because of that forward went to our goalkeeper, it opened up our other center back. And now, again.
Yeah, and there's an adage that the ball is faster than people. But 100%. I don't know who that girl is right there. She is fast. The ball may have been faster than the Valpo kids. Yeah. Who took the shot on goal?
Oh, I think that's Sonia Deering.
right? And
Yeah.
that's something I know that
Yeah.
doesn't result in any points.
Yeah.
You guys call them points? Goals.
Goals, yeah.
Right, but you got to be happy with that play,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. Listen, like scoring goals in soccer is very difficult. And so you play a game of probability. So, the more chances we create, the more opportunities that we'll score. And so,
Yeah, and the more good chances, like
right,
that's a
and
great
that's a good
chance.
chance.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And the thing that I was most proud about that is how we were able to advance the ball up the field with our structure. And we had players in the areas of the field that we want them, so that we can open up and find a wide player.
Yeah, I mean, you
streaking
did
in.
such a good job of stretching the field out widthwise, right?
Mhm,
And then you were able to switch the field and attack through the gut of the defense. And I would assume you're very happy with that.
That
clip.
was a good clip. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, me too.
That was a good
We
clip.
just get you guys playing with a soccer ball, not a basketball. We'll be in business.
Right. So
All right.
we're
So
in.
now that our goalie has the ball.
We're in green. Yeah.
All right.
We're in green.
We obviously, they took a shot on goal. Our goalie picked it up. What is she doing and what is she saying? I often hear your goalies yelling at people.
Yeah, they do a lot organizing defensively.
Yeah.
That's where a majority of their communication comes from. But in this moment, I'm sure she's trying to find a quick outlet. So it's almost like a fast break.
So you want to play with some tempo before they can get set. We'd
because
like to try
they press, they've got some higher players here, and you see a lot of space in here. So can we exploit that space? So Celeste picks the ball up, and then we talk about where are the spaces. So there's a big space right here. So she does a fantastic job of identifying where the space is, and in transition moment, how can we exploit that? How can we exploit that space? So she wins it. So Celeste plays a great ball out, and then the movement between the midfield to midfield passing is brilliant there. And then again, moving the defenders around. So we try to play a ball in behind.
Okay, let's pause it there, Jordan. Right, go ahead.
Yeah, so we tried to play that ball in behind, which is a good idea because our wingbacks have decent pace. And if you see, anytime that you can get the defensive team to be turning and running towards their own goal, that's
got to be a good thing.
It's a good thing, right? Because they're running and they want to be going that way, but they're running back towards their own goal. So, worst case scenario for them, or best case scenario for them, is they play it back to their goalkeeper who's not under pressure, and then she can play out. Or she turns and kicks it out, and we get a throw in.
Right.
Or she tries to play negatively, and we continue to press, and we can win the ball again high up the field, which is what happens. And then where's our width? Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a terrific job of getting the soccer ball on the other side of the field.
Awesome thing about that was it was wing back to wing back.
I don't know what that means.
The wing back on the right side created the chance, and that was scored by the wing back from the left side. So
yeah, can you go back to the pass?
Theoretically, the two players that play the widest apart are creating the chance for each other and scoring the chance.
So is this a pass or is this a missed shot?
No, she's crossing that.
If you go back to the pass, I think like this
1v1 skill right here.
This is ridiculous. Yes, yeah, that was absurd. But then to have the patience and the calmness and the wherewithal to not just take a shot on goal, right? Because I'm sure you see a lot of, especially in younger soccer, a kid makes this move, it's like, no, well, now's my chance to score, and to have that sort of maturity and teamwork to say, yeah, I could probably get a shot on goal. I mean, she clearly could get a shot on goal.
She could,
right?
But her angle's not great.
But she decides, my teammate over here's got a better shot on goal. And to have the patience and the skill set to control her body to make that pass was what really caught my eye the first time I saw this edit.
Like that goal.
Yeah, that was a great goal. That was a great goal. I mean, you love to see the ball move from one side to the other. You like to see a lot of touches.
Yeah. So you like how I've crafted these clips. So we had a clip that we didn't build out great.
Yeah.
And we had a clip that we built out great, but we didn't get the end result of a goal. And now we've built out beautifully.
Yeah.
and
Well, I
got.
often tell people that I know the coach of the year, and this is
That
this
was-
is how and why I
that
know
was
the
a few
coach of
years
the year.
ago.
This is the way that he's able to
That was a
teach.
couple years ago. Next clip. All right. So again,
All
we're
right,
back.
which team are we?
We're back in green.
We look good in green.
We
Aaron.
do. It's a brand new uniform this year. The players really love it. It looks nice.
Yeah, I appreciate the love and support that we get from Adidas and their uniforms. They do such a wonderful job. So here we go. We got numbers.
So we're attacking,
going,
yeah.
right? This is our version of a fast break.
Yep.
Right? You're moving forward. They're moving backwards.
So they make a great tackle.
Sure.
Give credit to that defender. She makes a great tackle. But one thing that we do is we don't give up. We're going to win the ball back. We're going to immediately win it back.
Yeah, pause it there, Jordan. And I think a tribute of, like, as you watch this, your kids do such a nice job of making plays, understanding you're playing against other Division I athletes who are willing and able to make plays, and they make plays that sometimes our plays don't work like we hope. But your kids' ability to move on to the next best play is really impressive, and I think a large reason why you guys have had such recent success this year with the last 2 weeks, where you guys have been amazing. But all over throughout your career, the way that your teams have always just went to the next play. And even throughout the season, we've been through some losing streaks together, but then it's just like, okay, we'll just win the next one. And I think that's a tribute to you as a head coach. But the way that your kids do just such a good job of, boy, it looked like we were going to have a fast break. Kid makes a terrific slide tackle, right?
She did, yeah.
And makes a great play on the ball. And instead of us pouting or putting our heads down, we just make the next best play, win the ball back, I think is the term you use. Now we've got it in a pretty favorable position. Do you like our shape here? Do you like what we're doing?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. We got to keep possession of the ball. Go ahead and hit the play. All right, but this is good because she tries to play through it. They double team her, but because they double team her, it leaves Jamison open.
Yeah, and again, like, your kid is not walking around, and much different than American football and basketball, where the ball goes out of bounds, we all blow the whistle, everybody takes a break, I'm yelling a play, the other coach is yelling a play, we take a TV timeout and all these kinds of things. Like, your kids don't have that luxury, right? I mean, the ball goes out of bounds. Through your preseason coaching, your kid goes and picks up the ball and knows exactly what to do with it, and has to make that decision almost instantaneously, and makes a good one. Gets the ball back in play, keeps pressure on the defense.
Because she recognizes that Jamison, the defenders are not as in the right place, so she recognizes Jamison can get the ball. So when you have a throw in, you control the tempo. You don't have to throw it in. There's no shot clock or throw in clock. You can take time. And the ref might, if you're taking too much time, will tell you to speed up. But she could have sat there, waited for us to kind of get set up in a shape that we thought was good in that moment. But she realizes and recognizes that moment that Jamison has some time, and she quickly throws it. And that's a freshman that threw that ball in. And so for her to be able to recognize that this early in her career, that was really good.
Yeah, and as a sidebar, I love how you guys have some arbitrary rules in your game. Most of us have. You guys are allowed to throw it in after some amount of time, right? I hear, like, in some form of soccer, you guys play until the clock gets to 0, and then you play some more. Some
not in college,
arbitrary period of time you guys just play a little bit longer. I like that you guys don't feel confined to play by all the rules.
No, we
play by most of them.
That's right. It's all in
you have some rules.
The referee's discretion and within the spirit of the game.
Yeah, the spirit of the game. That's what I like. It's such a friendly sport. But so she throws it in. She plays quickly.
This is a good ending on this one. And then Jamison just shows a tremendous amount of skill here.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
that's good coaching. Right there.
No coaching involved in that one.
I want you to boot it in from 25 yards. Just hit the top left corner there. It'll be fine.
There is no coaching involved in that one. That is sheer talent right there.
How far away is that?
She's probably 28, 29 yards,
With a defender on her hip. That's unbelievable.
Curling it around the goalkeeper. Yeah, that was pretty nice.
But to your point earlier, let's go back to where it goes in, Jordan. If somehow, and this is why I just have so much respect for your kids. If somehow the goaltender gets a hand on it, you guys are going to score anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Because go ahead and play the kick.
Unless she pushes it out.
Unless she pushes it out of play, out of bounds, whatever you guys call it.
Yeah.
But your kid's the only kid trying,
she's
right?
running,
so if she knocks it back in, she's going to.
So Aubrey was running there ready to tap it in if she doesn't hold it.
But I mean, that's a tribute. And that's why people like your team, because they just play hard, possession after possession after possession.
Yeah, and that was a great, from the beginning of that clip where we have the ball and we're driving down, and then the NKU player makes a great tackle, but we counter pressed. So that's a term that people use a lot, counter pressing, because we're pressing them when we lose it. We don't want them to counterattack us. Like if they get it first, they can counterattack us. Right. But we have the desire and the intensity to go and win it back and regain possession and continue to utilize the advantage that we have created territorially by being higher up the field. And then obviously to maintain possession. I mean, this is a great, hold it there. So this is a great clip where you can see our shape, our back three, midfield three here. But a lot of times the attacking midfielder will move up into the back line, and we're almost playing a 3-4-3. So typically we play a 3-5-2, but in some phases of our build-up, we'll play a 3-4-3 with two central midfielders, and then here's a wing back and here's a wing back. So this is a great clip just to illustrate the spacing on the field.
Yeah, again, such a good job of using the width. We can see NKU is really trying to protect the middle. You put so much pressure on them to get out here, and makes it a much easier decision for the next player.
Yeah, good one. All right, we're in black. Last clip here. So Celeste has the ball. She's our goalie.
Yeah. So earlier we saw her throw it.
Yep.
And I said, is she better at punting it? Is she better at putting it down and kicking it? And this time she decides she's going to put it down and kick it.
Yeah.
Now go back to the kick, can you, Jordan?
So she doesn't hit this great.
But when she puts that down, when she puts the ball down, can she then pick it up again?
No.
So once she puts it down, she's got to make a decision that she's going to get this kickoff before
she gets
the kids from Western Kentucky get the ball, because then you're not going to be very happy if that happens.
Yeah.
I would assume.
So she picks a good
space over here.
She picks a good option.
Yeah.
She just underhits it. But because of the thing that we love how intense our team is, that we're going to win that ball back. You know, the Western player doesn't get a great touch on it, but we're going to play it back.
Yeah. So what's the thought process here? Like, why not kick it to, is this number 2 over here?
Yeah.
Why not just play it safely over here in number 2?
Well, so we're trying to exploit spaces. All right. And so the soccer field's really big. Yeah. So there's multiple space on the field that we can exploit. Because Western was pressing up high, so the comment that you made on the last clip where we said we're high pressing and we're going to challenge you to either play through us or you have to go over us.
Right.
And so there are moments where our players have to recognize what is the best option. Where is the available space? And again, Western does a pretty good job of pressing. They have pretty much all the space and all of our players closed off. Can we pop out here and keep it? We probably could, right? But then she's still going to be under a bit of pressure. But because we knew that we have some quick players up front and we could drop the ball in over their back line because there's a lot of space in there, we can run onto it and we can create a good chance to score is exactly what we do here.
Well, the risk reward that we talked about before, right?
Yeah.
A little bit risky, right? Because the ball's in the air. And I assume the longer the ball's in the air, the more risk there is that something could go wrong. But also higher reward that it might go really, really right for us.
If we can put it in behind them and then they're turning, running towards their own goal again. And we actually get a great chance initially, but their goalkeeper makes a really good save. So Jameson gets in, and our goalkeeper makes a really good save. Yeah. But again, we are staying on the front foot. We are going to say, all right, we gave you a shot. You took it. We're going to try to do it again.
And then we tackle the goalkeeper and try to keep her on the ground as long as possible.
We were pinning her down.
Yeah, hold her down.
Got a 3 second pin.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, and
Yep,
then
and now we're playing the ball out.
Now
And
we're
again,
going-
we're the first one to the ball
Yeah.
again.
and then we have an open goal, but the goalkeeper just makes a brilliant save
Yeah,
there.
I mean, 2 great plays by their goalkeeper.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And again, something that you're happy. You got 2 very good looks, right? And they made 2 great plays. And I think that's what makes playing and coaching and being a part of college athletes so exciting, is that you have great players, they have great players, they make good plays, you make good plays. And I think that's what makes coaching and being a part of this so much fun. Is sure, we want to win and we want our kids to do well, but you can appreciate the people that you play
Absolutely.
against and have respect for the people that you play against and the plays that they're able to make.
Yeah, I mean, credit to that goalkeeper for making 2 excellent saves there to keep the game closer than if we would have scored that goal. But I was happy with that clip from a tactical standpoint, because that was something that we talked about at halftime in this game, was exploiting the space in behind because they were doing a good job pressing, and we created a great chance. And for Maya to recognize where the space was and be able to complete that pass,
Yeah,
that was
that's an amazing
she hit a
pass,
a
right?
50-yard ball. Yeah.
And right on stride.
Yeah, absolutely.
How long is halftime?
15 minutes.
And that's it. That's all the time you get. I know that's long enough. I'm not suggesting it should be longer. I would suggest all of it should be shorter. However, but that's it. Like that's your time to make adjustments. You don't.
That's it.
Yeah, you're not taking a timeout to advance the soccer ball down the sideline, right?
No.
And for your kids to be able to be like to be able to do what you and your staff saw. I mean, that's something that's got to make you really happy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've always been so receptive to the coaching and to adjustments that we've made at halftime, and to take those on board. And they're a lovely group to be around every day and to coach, and they're some tremendous student athletes, some tremendous teammates, and they really love and support each other, which is awesome.
Yeah, I think that makes this next 6 weeks of soccer really exciting as we head into conference play, and you guys are playing really good. And I think that's going to be a very exciting October for November for you.
Yeah, thanks. Looking forward to it.
Me too.